Welcome to the Daily Devo. My name is Jeremy, and today we're talking about dwelling in the house of the Lord forever. Have you ever had someone overstay their welcome? Could be a dinner party that you host, or maybe you let someone from out of town stay with you, and you hit this moment where you are just done socializing and ready to go to bed, or just to reclaim your space. Sometimes you're trying to figure out how to politely let someone know it's time for them to leave. Maybe you yawn extra big. Maybe you talk about your busy day tomorrow and how you have to get up extra early. If you're really forward, you say something like, "Hey, it's time for you to leave." If the role was reversed, I can't imagine it would feel great for someone to just tell you it's time for you to leave their house. It would be so awkward. Check out Psalms 23, the second half of it, in verse 6. It says, "And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." It's stated that we'll dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Another translation says, "all of my days." I find it incredible that much of the Psalms is about God looking out for us and providing for us and teaching us about serving. And at the very end, David declares that we will never wear out our welcome with God. David had a love for God's house and a love for being in his presence. We don't have the same stomach for it as God does. Just think about it. You and I are terrible house guests. We break the rules. We're prone to selfishness. We're often ungrateful. We're the kind of guests that never get the invite back to the place. But God's love for us is so great that we can dwell in his house forever. We should never take that for granted. I would venture to say that the only reasonable response to that kind of unconditional love is to want to be better and not to act worse. God's love for us should never empower us to live wild, but instead cause us to want to live for him and to look more like him. Are you the kind of person that loves to be in the house of the Lord? I get that in the New Testament, the church isn't a building, but a people. But the Bible also tells us not to forsake the solemn assembly together. Christianity is extraordinarily relational. It's meant to be lived out in community amongst other Christians. I'm grateful you're watching this online. And for stuff like this, the internet is an incredible tool. But online should never replace the gathering of the saints. Let's be like David, who ends in amazing Psalms by rejoicing that he gets to spend all his days in the house of the Lord. How small of an excuse do you need to bail on church? Traffic? Maybe you felt like sleeping in? Or if you live in Arizona, it rained at some point. There are legitimate reasons for missing out on gathering. Just make sure your reasons are actually legitimate. I don't say this to harp on you, but to encourage you to examine yourself. I truly believe that if we would have David's attitude about church and connection to our God, our families would be stronger, our souls would be healthier, and we would meet the needs of others and ourselves. Thanks for joining us today on the Daily Devo.